Hey, what's up, guys? I just got back from seeing. Well, I didn't just get back, but I did see the new film Drive today, starring Ryan Gosling. It's getting very high reviews. It's got a very solid, I think 90% plus Rotten Tomatoes rating, and it just looked cool, So I wanted to see it. Has a good cast. I like Gosling. It has Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. It has Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy. Just sitting overall, a pretty solid cast. I think the girl is Carey Mulligan or Casey Mulligan. I forgot her name. Only thing I can really remember her from is from Wall Street 2. Probably some other stuff. Anyways, just getting right to it. Um, I think the movie is a little bit misleading. Like the trailers, anyways, are a little bit misleading as to what it's all about. And I think that's why there's a little bit of disappointment from moviegoers on it. Moviegoers and certain critics are not as high on it as most of the critics are. It's advertised as like this action, car movie, and it's not. It's not a Fast and the Furious or anything of that sort. There are car chases in it. There's exactly three of them, and I think they're all very exciting and well done. But if you're going into it just looking for a pure brainless action movie, um, well, you're going in with the wrong expectations, and it's not totally your fault. You kind of, I mean, I would say the trailers are a little misleading, but anyways, I'll just get right down to it. I loved Drive. I loved it a lot, a lot, a lot. I was just wow. I was blown away. Um, I was just thrilled by it. I thought it was a great film. I want to see it right again. I want to see it again right now. And I think it's very close. I mean, right now it's between it and I Saw the Devil for my favorite film of the year. Hesher's in there definitely. Hesher's definitely in that top five. Don't think I forgot about Hesher, but this is more, my usual cup of tea, which is violent crime action picture. The problem is, well, let me tell you the story real quick. Ryan Gosling, he plays this stunt driver, for like, Hollywood movies who moonlights as a wheelman for crooks. And he does heists and stuff. And, sometimes gets involved with the wrong people. And he also works in a garage, working on cars for Bryan Cranston, who also gets involved with the wrong people. And the wrong people in this movie are Ron Perlman and, strangely enough, Albert Brooks, who's very good in it and scary, as these like small time mafia guys, small time organized crime or whatever. And there was one review I saw that kind of compared it to Taxi Driver, and I definitely saw that when I watched the movie. Ryan Gosling's character, I forgot his name. I don't even know if he has a name. Uh, yeah, no, he doesn't. His name is Driver in the movie. Uh, he moves around LA. He's always going to new places, and he's very mysterious and quiet. And you never quite know what's going on with him. And there's this sense that he could be not just like this quiet guy, but kind of dangerous and maybe mentally unstable or a little violent. You don't really know. I guess you could kind of fill in whatever you want because he's so quiet in the movie. And then he meets this, he moves in this new apartment and he meets this girl down the hall. I'll get her name right this time. It is Carey Mulligan, Irene. And they have like this weird kind of romance that starts to bud between them. But the problem is her husband is in jail for a crime they never really explain, but some sort of criminal activity. And he gets out and he has a problem. And since Gosling's character is kind of, gotten kind of close to this girl and he kind of likes her or whatever, and he likes their kid, he decides to help the husband for whatever reason. Mostly because I think he wants to protect her and the kid. I don't think he gives a shit about the husband at all. I think he wishes the husband was not around so he could be with her. And that's kind of how it works. And like if you think of Taxi Driver, it's also like this shy, loner, quiet guy who latches on to. And Taxi Driver was Jodie Foster, who was like a young prostitute, and he wants to protect her and save her from her pimp and this and that, right? And he's a little nuts, and he starts to lose it, and he goes crazy, and he goes violent. Drive is kind of similar in its structure, except that Ryan Gosling is not just some nutso. He has like a skill set, you know. So that's basically it. But I mean, and I think the problem that people have with it is it's got an awesome opening 10 minutes where there's a heist going on. And it's not quite a chase. I called it a chase earlier, but just them kind of escaping in the car and driving around. Very cool. I mean, there's chase parts to it, but then after that, it has a very slow build where it's him getting to know Carey Mulligan from down the hall, and like them establishing him caring for them, right? And establishing that he's a mysterious character, and establishing who his boss Bryan Cranston is, and who Albert Brooks, and like how these people play into the world, right? It has like that slow build up to it, and so for people that are don't have very good attention spans, and people who just want to see car chases throughout the whole thing, they're gonna be turned off by it, and that's their loss because they're missing one of the best, or they're missing the fun of one of the best movies of the year. And I could sort of see like where they're coming from at some point, because the way they establish the relationship between Gosling and Mulligan's character is it's just like these like them looking at each other, and a lot of very slow, like not even conversation moments. It's just like they'll be driving around and sneaking peeks at each other. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. The movie has a lot of style to it. It's very stylish. So that even when nothing is happening, I'm like so into what's going on, and just like the whole mood and the vibe of it. I was in it. I was enjoying it. But yeah, that said, that the relationship that's built between Mulligan and Gosling, on face value is not super interesting, and it's slow moving, right? But I kind of like the way, it's felt more realistic than the way a lot of romances happen in movies. It's just like they're looking at each other, they like each other, they want to spend more time together. And like I said, I like the style in it. I saw one review show, What the Flick, where they were like complaining that it's like drenched in style, and the style becomes distracting at some point. I don't agree at all. I mean, I don't normally like style over substance, but I think there's substance to back up the style here, and I like the mood it was going for. I like the whole 80s vibe it was going for. Like, they did not like it for some reason. And in a trend for like movies recently, like it happened with Contagion, where it had this awesome like 80s sounding soundtrack. So does Drive, and I loved it. I thought the soundtrack was great. Go look up the song Night Call from it, and tell me that doesn't sound like an 80s song. Tell me it's not badass. So I like that. I like the style, I like the mood it's trying to evoke. I like the performances. I thought Gosling gives a very good performance. Very kind of mysterious and kind of scary. Like, what's this guy capable of? Cranston was alright as like this Weasley guy. I thought Albert Brooks was great in it as like the scary mob type guy. He like upstaged Ron Perlman, who I could have used a little bit more of him. I thought he was good, but I would like to see more of him. But as it slowly builds towards the violence, I was into it. And then once the violence starts happening... Oh, yeah, and you have Christina Hendricks from Mad Men who's in it. And I just remembered her for a very specific reason I won't spoil. She's not in it much, but she has a cool role. Cool little role. But once the violence happens, I was surprised, and I think people in the theater were caught off guard, too. But it's very gory and it's very intense and insane violence. Like, I'll say this minor spoiler: best exploding head I've seen in a long time. And it's so rare that you get that now, like these practical gore effects like that. And that was another nice throwback to '80s. But it's just like not something you'd normally see in an action movie. It's stuff that you would normally see in a horror flick. I thought it worked great. I loved it. And so that like the last like whatever half hour or whatever I thought was very exciting. I was interested throughout, but I just from the music to the actors to the gore that's in it to the driving sequences. There's an awesome chase sequence in the middle of it. I thought it was awesome. There's another one near the end. It's pretty cool violence with cars scene. Just I hope I'm not overselling it, but I don't know. I don't really care because honestly, I thought it was one of my favorite movies of the year. I thought it was just a really, really good genre picture. Lots of mood and style, but I don't think that's a mark against it. I think it's a mark in its favor. The violence was great. I don't know what can I say. I'm giving it a high recommendation. I'm saying you should go see it. The music, look up the music from it. Uh, I think the odds are you're gonna like this movie. There's a lot to like in this movie. I mean, some of the reviewers complaining that it's like all style and it's the director showing off. Look what I could do. Good. Show me what you could do. Show me more of that. I want to see another movie by this guy. What the fuck is his name? It's a weird name. The director is Nicholas Winding Refn, Refn. I want to see more stuff by him. You know, show off all you want. I like stylish directors when they're good at it. You know, I like the early P.T. Anderson stuff because of that. I thought it was well done. You know, Scorsese's stylish. No one knocks him for like showing all his tricks and stuff. Tarantino is stylish. No one knocks him for pulling all his bags of tricks out. I thought it was good. Yeah, but there was definitely a mixed reaction in the theater. So I know I won't be alone in my love for the film, but I know there will be people that are just like absolutely hate it. The reaction was so mixed. There was someone when as soon as the credits started rolling, they're like, "Boo!" It wasn't a packed theater. It was pretty empty. The movie's been out a week already. It was like a Friday afternoon, but someone was just like, "Boo!" As I'm walking out, I heard someone talking to one of the like theater workers, and theater workers like, "Did you like it?" And the guy's like, "No, not really. What about you?" And the theater worker was like, "I loved it." And he's like, and this guy that was disappointed was like, the advertisements lied. It was way too slow. I just don't feel like, yeah, it's too slow could be a valid complaint, but it was never boring. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's boring. I didn't think it was boring. I think just some people were going in expecting Fast and the Furious. If you do that, then maybe you're going to be disappointed, but you're getting something, I think, a million times better than Fast and the Furious. I did hear one guy talking behind me to his wife on the way out to the parking lot, though. He's like, I thought that was awesome. He's like, I kept me on the edge of my seat throughout. And I'm definitely in that category. I thought it was a kick-ass flick. It's one that I want to see again right now. I might even buy it. It was so good. So 5 out of 5 stars for Drive. Go see it. Have fun. Get yourself some popcorn. And, keep yourself focused for the first, half hour. You might have to, hold your horses. There will be violence. Just be patient. So that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching. I don't know if I'll do any other videos before Breaking Bad, but of course Breaking Bad this Sunday. All right, see you guys.